first item I'm using is an NYX concealer, and this is, I think it's nude. So now this eyeshadow base I'm using is also by NYX, and it is Skin Tone. So the first shade I'm using as a transition is by ColourPop, and this is Strength, and this is one of them that came with the Metamorphosis eyeshadow quad. So now on top of that, I am using Blame It on Midnight by NYX, and this next shade is Dance the Tides, also by NYX, and sort of giving it that gradient look. So the dark shade that I'm using is Smoky Quartz, and this is by Fashion Fair, and this is a eyeshadow I've had for a long time, and unfortunately it's discontinued. So I am packing this eyeshadow on. So now I am cleaning up the edges and just blending it in with the Dance the Tides. So this shade here is Aurora, and this is also by NYX, and I am putting that on my outer crease and a little inside the crease, just to darken the outer V. So now I'm blending the edges out on that also. So I went back in with the Strength, and I'm using that to blend out the edges. So this is Black Bean by NYX, and the clip wasn't real clear, so that's why I didn't include it. So I'm using the yellow in this trio, and this is by Revlon, and it is Olive It Up. So I'm using that olive color from that same trio, and I'm using it all over the majority of the lid, and I was all focused on that also, so that's why you don't see the clip. And this is Desert Suedes by Milani, and I'm only using that dark green just on the edge, the outer edge a little. And just making sure that everything is even with the other side. So this I'm using as a brow bone shade, and this is just a random color. It doesn't have a name because the company that sold it no longer exists, and now time for the pigment. And this is Kinky, and it's by Pure Luxe, and it's a real pretty green, and I'm using it with a wet brush, which I'm sorry you guys, that clip was messed up too, but you have the idea. So off camera I put on lashes and my eyeliner. So this shade I'm using is a gray, and it's called Amethyst by Starlux. I didn't want a black in my tear duct. I wanted sort of bright color, but I also didn't want white. So my lower tear duct, I am using that olive green that I used on my lid, and I'm putting that on the majority of my lid. So in the tear duct and also like 1/3 of my lid, I'm using that yellow shade and just blending it in with that olive green. So now for foundation, and I'm using the primer, and this is the L'Oreal, I think it's Dream Lumi, which I love this primer. So now I'm using a corrector, and this is the orange by LA Girl, and I find myself reaching for this more than I'm reaching for the orange that I have from MAC. It's just easier to use, and I'm using a concealer brush from Echo Tools. So my foundation is by Maybelline, and it's the Dream Wonder, and it's the darkest shade. I think it's coconut. And what I did, I just transferred into an airless pump, which was a bad idea because this foundation is so liquidy. It's hard pumping it out, so I'm just going to put it in a squeeze bottle. And I just put it on my face randomly. I don't do no special way, as you can see. So after it's all on my face, I start buffing it. And this is a mineral brush. And I actually like this foundation because it does give you that matte look. And it's very easy to blend. But you also have to be fast. So for contouring, I'm using the Ruby Kisses Pretty Creator, and it is level 15. And as you see, I only have the dark that's left. And now I'm starting with a lighter shade, and this is Truly Topaz by Black Opal. And now I'm just blending it together with that dark color. And the reason why I started not putting the concealer right below my lower eye line or lash line is because it doesn't get in between fine lines when you do it like that. So it's not a pile up of it. So now I am going to set my concealer, and this is Ben Nye powder, and I have it in banana and topaz mixed together. And the reason why I do this is because when I want to light highlight, I think this is better, you know, with my skin tone. The banana powder is really yellow. So if I want a hard contour, then I use the banana powder by itself. So now I'm going to start with the powder for my dark areas of the contour, and this is by Black Radiance. And this is like the best powder to use to shade in or to set you know, your concealer for your dark areas of your contouring. So after my setting powder has set for a while, I press it in, and I use that with a dry sponge, and I start blending. And that's what I'm doing. I'm blending all the shades together. So now I am wiping off the excess powder. The next item I'm using is Revlon Nearly Naked Pressed Powder, and this is in Deep. And what I'm doing, I'm just putting it on the places where I want it, and then I buff it out. I find out that's best for me because I don't have that dry, cakey looking look. So this highlight is Moonlight Pearls, and this is by e.l.f., and this is one of their baked highlighters. And ever since I purchased this, I find myself reaching for this more than any of the highlighters I have. And the brush you can find on eBay. I think I paid like $1 for it. So the blush is a bright pink, and this is by Be a Bombshell, and the shade is Beach Please. And I'm putting this on with a stipple brush because it doesn't pick up a lot of product. because this blush is very pigmented, so you have to use it with a light hand. Next is mascara for my lower lash line, and this is NYX, the stacked mascara. So now I'm going to spray with this rose water, and this is by Mario Badescu. And next I'm going to set my makeup with the Fix Plus by MAC. So for lips, I am using Rose Brown, and that is by NYX. And now I am using an ultra matte lip stain or lipstick, and this is by ColourPop, and the shade is Limbo. I didn't want a pink, I didn't want a red, I didn't want a bright, because I want you to be able to see the green. And now for the eyebrows, I started to set them last, and I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Gel. So this is the final look, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye, and enjoy the pics.